What's going on, Gemini? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having a fantastic week so far. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just the best, Gemini, and it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Higher Self has brought you here. We are in for an amazing journey. So Gemini, big surprise. Switching things up just a little bit. I figured with this new, that planetary spread that I did, I think that one's just going to be the monthly readings from now on, and then these ones that I do going forward are going to be just weekly ones, Gemini. So whenever you come across this messages, this could resonate for you, just apply it to your situations, okay? And then, just so you all are aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me, and never force a reading on a situation, okay? So with all that being said, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Gems, feeling lovely. Just great energy all around here, Gemini. So Gemini, with this spread, I'm just going to be going with the flow. We're going to pull a few oracle cards, and then we'll get some tarot to clarify. And then just so you all know, these readings that I do, they're not gender specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations, okay? And then the last thing, the decks that I'm working with, I'll include links for them down in the description box below, so definitely check those out if you're interested there, Gemini. Let's get to see what your first card is here. Oh, look at you. All right, we got the second card of Virgo here, which is the coin toss, Gemini. Look at you taking a chance here. And with the coin toss, this is a card of choices, either or, be fair, consider pros and cons, fate, equal, two sides to every story, butterfly effect, either way, 50-50 chance, unpredictable, can't decide, take a chance. And so, Gemini, this is definitely giving me that maybe for some of us, we're at like a crossroads here. If maybe we're deciding on where we want to go for, maybe if we're been thinking about like a career shift, maybe it's like, do I stay at this company? Do I go try this new thing? Or maybe do I start a new business? Or, maybe this is something where maybe we're thinking about like a move possibly, or whatever this crossroads that you may be at, Gemini. I feel like that definitely, kind of like as this card was kind of saying, if we find ourselves really kind of stuck between two decisions here, a good thing, let's weigh the pros and the cons, and let's see how that feels. But, I do feel like that it's something where, let's work through the stuff first. But I feel like it's one of those things, Gemini, if you feel like that, especially if this is like an opportunity that maybe you're really excited about, you may be a little nervous, but you feel like this definitely can take you to greater heights, or, I feel like, we never tell you what to do, Gemini, but sometimes, the exciting part of this journey is taking that chance and, being okay with whatever results, may follow with that, But I do feel like that, if we're just thinking about just like new opportunities, do I do I say yes to maybe traveling abroad, or, who knows with this, Gemini? If the opportunities feels like it's leaning towards your favor, I say give it a try and see where that goes. Now, as I was kind of talking about that, I feel like maybe for some others, a whole bunch of things. Actually, I got two things. I'm going to put a bookmark in that one. But I find too, Gemini, that maybe if we're in like an either or situation, or if we're just kind of teetering between two things, maybe this is something where if someone's presented you like maybe a couple of options here, don't feel like that you have to make it right down at that particular moment. Maybe ask to see hey, can I take a few days or maybe a week to just kind of consider all the details here? Because just thinking with Virgo, you and Virgo share a ruler. You're ruled by Mercury. So take this time, whatever this is that we're debating between, do some research and see where that'll get you. Maybe don't feel like that you have to say yes, or if you feel like someone's kind of pressuring you to say this, to make a decision right now and you don't feel comfortable with it, well then, you know what? I don't, another opportunities we're going to keep coming. I don't feel like we miss out on the opportunities that were meant for us, Gemini, okay? So let's get some, because this is interesting, because, third little bookmark. Just if we're thinking about a relationship, and I apologize for the sound there if you can hear that, but if we're thinking about maybe a relationship, maybe we're waiting, thinking about taking a chance on something, maybe we're thinking about maybe going back, or if we're thinking about going forward. Now, if we're thinking about going back to someone, that's, again, can't tell you what to do, but I find that sometimes when we go back to something, it could be very well that, maybe there was some healing that wanted to be done or needed to be done. Actually, Gemini, I'm going to pause this for 1 second and see if I can make this kind of soundproof this a little bit. 1 second. Okay, we're back. My apologies for that. I thought, get some air flowing in here, and then they decide to do, nature my problem. But last thing, with the relationship, when I was talking about if we're thinking about going back, maybe there is some healing that can be done there, but when I think about past stuff, usually we go to the past because that's usually like a comfort zone. And if we're thinking about maybe something new, for example, I feel like, again, weigh the pros and cons, but usually this life is about creating new cycles and taking, new memories. And, if we are thinking about someone and we feel nostalgic and things like that, I get that, Gemini. Here's what we do with that. We take those situations, we give it love and light, and then we send it off, and and then I feel like that's really the kindest thing that we can do for like an ex thing, and that help all that energy just keep moving on. But let's get we can do the whole reading off this card. Let's see what this 50-50 thing is about. Let's get a little bit more on this story. Because there's there's two sides. There's like 3, 4, 5, 10 sides to this story that we could keep going off of here, Gemini. And Gemini, don't let the fear of the outcome, sway our decision, in the sense of trust your intuition in this situation. If we feel like we're at a place where we're making a really big decision, trust that your gut is going to lead you down the right way. Because, higher self has got your back, especially if this is something that you know is going to raise your vibration in the long run. Do you know what I mean? Okay. Looks like we're keeping these three, Gemini. All right. Oh, look at you, Empress. See? Look at that. Look at this, Gemini. You got my girl. You got the Ace of Wands here, and then you got the Knight of Swords. And so with this energy, Gemini, the Ace of Wands is an opportunity here. It's just what do you want to do with this energy? Are you going to, because here's the thing. Because I feel like if we're feeling stagnant, or if we're feeling nervous about taking this situation, the Knight of Swords, he's about getting the bigger picture. He realizes that we're getting ready to go on a big journey. So do that research, because it's going to be, there are going to be some hurdles along the way with this experience, Gemini. But again, if it's going to get you to a place of feeling abundant, feeling at your best, getting you closer to your highest vibration, Gemini, take the chance. The Empress, she takes risk. It may not feel like the sturdiest thing at the moment, but she trusts her intuition. She's a culmination of all of the queens. And so she knows, and if there's something she doesn't know, she's going to find out. She's going to tap into her Queen of Swords energy. We're going to do some research. We're going to Queen of Pentacles, figure out how we can find the resources for it. Queen of Cups, do some networking, trust our intuition, see where that's guiding us, and then Queen of Wands, using this fire and taking that inspiration and going, Gemini. So, yeah, I feel like if this is, don't sleep on this, Gemini. If we got a big opportunity here, because this is something where, especially if you feel like that this is going to be a really big win for you, Empress is here. Come on. So go on and get it, Gemini. More? All right, Gemini, let's get some more Oracle cards. I'm with that. And Gemini, this is really the time, take a risk and see where that'll lead you. We're in the age of, this is Aquarius's card. We're in the age of Aquarius right now, and seeing where, did I say age of Aquarius? Because Pluto's in Aquarius. But there's an age of innovation and taking chances, and seeing where, and you know what? Jupiter is still, depending on when you're watching this, Jupiter will be in Aries until the 15th of May. Fortune favors the bold. So Gemini, if you need to toss a coin, you know what? Even think about the Empress. Maybe we even get like a sounding board. Maybe this is someone that bounce some ideas off of people. But don't let this go pass you by, Empress. Let's see what else we got here. You know, Gemini, just a sidebar. When I started using this deck, I just got this one not too long ago, and I wasn't sure, you know how I feel about the Empress. You know, at first I wasn't sure how I feel about this Empress, but she's starting to grow on me a little bit. I don't, just a little sidebar here. This one, okay. All right, Gemini, hold up. Let me get myself together here. What else do we got? Oh, okay. Interesting. This is taking a turn. So don't panic. You got the fourth card of Sagittarius here, Gemini, which is the gavel card. And with the gavel card, this is a card of conviction, decisions made, pay attention, offer accepted, legal matters, court order, fair, finished, being judged, bring order, serious situation, important decisions, and assertions. And you know, Gemini, I'm not really picking up a lot of like legal stuff here. If we're dealing with some legal things, or if we're in a situation where we're not sure if there are any, like we're not sure what the legal implications are, you know, I will be mindful about taking chances on things, you know, that seem kind of shady, Gemini. Trust your Empress does not get involved with shady characters. She makes abundance happen all by herself. You know, she don't, you know, keep an eye out for some nonsense, Gemini. You know, just thinking with that. I'm not getting a strong thing, but just considering we're tossing coins and hearing gavels, it's just something that we'll, you know, just keep in mind. But what I'm more so getting with this, Gemini, is really kind of focusing on like the decisions made, the important decision, maybe offer accepted, and thinking about maybe if we have any sort of big decisions. And this, you know, if this is not at work, you know, maybe this is something where we're thinking about doing like a lifestyle change. You know, maybe we're going to go, you know, switch diets, or maybe we're going to make a point to, maybe we want to, I don't know, you know, Gemini, apply it to your situation. But I do feel like that, you know, this gavel card, because when you think about Sagittarius energy, they're the opposite sign to you, one. But when we think about our opposites, both signs are just wicked intelligent. And when you think about your sign, yours is a sign of like that accumulating knowledge, you know, that like Geminis are just, they're quick-witted, they're naturally smart. I mean, just like, you know, great conversationalist. But where you are the accumulation of knowledge, Sagittarius for me is that they're the wisdom that you attain from putting that knowledge into practice, Gemini. And so I feel that, just to say all of that, we can learn a lot from our opposite signs here. And just, you know, I feel that you can, because I know you're wise, Gemini. That's not to say that Geminis can't be wise. It's just that, you know, it's just how the energies are set up. But I feel that if this is something where you can expand, Gemini, where you can get, you know, become rich in whatever abundance that look like, you know, knowledge, experience, you know, pentacles, whatever, you know, I feel like that, give that a try, you know, make this attention, you know, pay attention to, you know, to the details of this thing, you know, and because this, just thinking about a serious situation, I don't feel like it's serious in the sense of like, you know, this is like you know, where you're in any kind of danger or anything like that. But I feel like it's serious in the sense of like, you can have a really big opportunity here. You know, you can really manifest something really, really amazing here. But let's get a little bit more on this gavel card here, Gemini. Oh, interesting. You know, Gemini, yeah, that popped out, huh? Libra. So you got the Four of Swords here, Gemini. And with the Four of Swords popping up, this is Jupiter in Libra. And I bring that up to say that maybe this is something that I really feel like consider this thing, Gemini, really weigh the pros and cons for this, whatever, if we have any sort of like big decisions that we're making, whenever you happen to come across this, or maybe this is something that's coming up in the future, something tells me that where, really sit with this, but, and maybe I feel like with this Four of Wands as well, or excuse me, Four of Swords as well, just not to rush this decision, because I do feel like it is going to be a big thing, and this may be something where maybe we might, if we're in like a family, for example, maybe we have to consider, are we going to need to move the family, it's like, if we're with like, or maybe this is just a partner, it's like, does a partner have to change jobs, or if we just have a little one, what are we thinking about school, all considering all of the things, Gemini. But when you've had that time, don't sleep on this too long. I feel like, weigh your pros and cons, but once you feel like that there's nothing else to weigh, take action, just with this. It's a weird kind of place, it's like you want to get all the details and things, but we don't want to. Yeah, I keep getting, don't sleep on this, really consider how this can help you grow, okay? And really, especially if this is something where if we're getting more knowledge and, more experiences, maybe traveling or something like that, I tell Sagittarius, and I feel like I tell you quite a bit, your signs would definitely benefit, sun, moon, rising, whatever, for just like, even if it's like little short trips in general, just getting out and traveling and experiencing life, really, and communicating with others, telling your story, learning other stories and all of that. You're the communicators of the Zodiac, Gemini. You're the chameleons. You can really kind of just navigate a room and navigate the world even, and just like really connect. So let's get some more on this gavel here. All right, Page of Pentacles, because look at that, something I really, and Gemini, I'm not, I would never tell you what to do. This is, this is a safe space here, but you could be sleeping on gold, sitting on gold, standing with gold, whatever. Gold, Gemini. This feels like this is an opportunity for you to create something new, to fill in the space. Because I'll tell you what, Gemini, with all these energy shifts now, there's a lot of voids that are being left, and this is a great time to fill this energy with new innovative ideas and new experience. Because really, Gemini, who knows what type of abundance you could bring, because every time I talk about, or here recently when I've been talking about the Empress, I've been talking about her relationship with the Tower, Mars, because the Empress is Venus. And where Mars comes through and is destroying old establishments, to make way for new stuff, Empress is the one that's bringing in all that new stuff, that's bringing in that abundance, bringing in the experiences that she's learned, this energy that she's been, all this stuff that she's been accumulating, these experiences that she's been learning, and then she comes through, and she's bringing mad abundance. She's bringing forests, streams of water here. She might even bring you a lazy boy if you, but yeah, Gemini, I just feel this. I just feel like, if someone, because maybe this is, maybe someone, and if we're not in a decision, Gemini, if someone is coming with you with a decision, it's a weird place. I want to say consider the options, but just considering the pros and cons here, just like, let's be mindful. We don't want, Todd may have like the next greatest idea here and a great experience for you, but old Julian's like, hey, I got this get rich quick thing, blah blah blah. We want to be mindful of Julian's, but Todd's, yeah, we'll listen to Todd at least. Hang with me, Gemini, more. Interesting. All right, Gemini, you got the Three of Swords here. And you know, I feel like with this Three of Swords, whatever decision you do make, you know, I feel that this is saying, you know, be okay with whatever outcomes come, you know, because maybe this is something where if we don't make the move and you know, maybe something great happens and then, you know, we don't want to get into a place of regret. You made that decision for a reason, and just because that door closed, you know, like I was saying, I don't feel like the opportunities that were meant for, they're going to come around for us. Absolutely. The Empress is always going to get her abundance. But, and even if we made the decision, you know, take this leap, and maybe, again, if things don't quite go how we planned, you know, it's where, yes, I understand if something goes awry, you know, it's never ideal, but it's taking these time. This is a great, Three of Swords is a great energy to reflect on and think about, okay, what happened in this situation? You know, what blindsided me? What can I keep, you know, what can I keep from, you know, repeating something like this in the future, you know, and then keep it going. Hopefully, you know, this doesn't get, you know, whatever the situation is, doesn't get to a, you know, some kind of law thing, but I think I'm gonna get a little bit more on that, Gemini, because that is kind of an interesting turn there. Let's get a little bit more on that Three of Swords. Yeah, think of yourself. Let's see what's going down with that. More. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Ooh, we got a little banquet here. Okay. So the Three of Swords, interesting. Okay, so the Three of Swords is clarified by the Two of Swords, the Nine of Swords upright, and then you got the Two of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles in reverse. And so, Gemini, yeah, it's kind of what I was kind of saying here, Gemini. You know, this is something that, you know, definitely whatever this decision is, trust your intuition with this Two of Swords. You know, this is something where I feel like the decision needs to be made, but it's going to be something where, and it may be a little, you know, where we're going to, because with whatever situation, you know, even when it comes to growth, you know, there are going to be challenges along the way, Gemini, but this is something that we persevere through here, you know, that we learn through, and that we just, especially if it's going to get you towards your growth in the long run, you know, we push through these challenges, Gemini. And I just feel like with these pentacles popping up at the bottom here, just with the Two of Pentacles, if something, just with these twos, if something is not feeling right, you know, not feeling like there's, like maybe something may happen with your energies or with your resources, whatever that's looking like, you know, I say just be mindful of your assets, all of this stuff, you know, especially with where kind of the energies are at right now. You know, Venus will be in Taurus for up until the 10th, but you know, you still got Uranus in Taurus that's still going for a while. You know, there's still some weird financial stuff that's kind of going up on there, Gemini, that'll be happening for at least the next till the next couple of years, until Uranus moves into your sign in 2025. So just be mindful of this stuff when we're making these decisions, Gemini, but trust your intuition, and I feel like that's going to lead you to where you're getting your Empress status. So let's get another oracle here. Okay. Let's see what else we got. Ooh, wow, Gemini. Man, you got the second card of Sagittarius here, which is the dice card. We're really just taking a risk here, Gemini, because the dice card is a card of gamble, taking a risk, luck, playing games, chances are, roll with it, random results, win, lose, uncertain outcome, play the game, potential, fate, what happens next. And maybe this is something, Gemini, maybe you're in a place right now. Maybe we've made this decision and maybe it's been like this roller coaster. Maybe we felt like an empress, but maybe we're in this place now where we're kind of uncertain, It's like, because that happens, there's this, like, when we make that first, and like, especially if it's something where it feels like it's like empowering and that we're taking charge and whatnot, it's, we really do feel on top of the world. But then when we reach that first big challenge, it can be like a lot. But this is, if we've made this, decision, it's just like, how are we at with that, But this really feels like if we haven't made a choice yet, whether we make a move or whether we stay stagnant, Gemini, this is something where you got to decide where you want to take the risk, because both are risk, to not do anything or to do everything, it's a, what is that, an all zero, not a zero-sum game, but what I'm trying to say here, there's another term for that. But, if we've been feeling, and because Gemini, this could be something where, if we've been feeling like maybe if things have gotten a little stiff, just like maybe been in the need of like wanting to shake something up. Let's get some cards on this dice card here, because this is definitely an interesting turn to your story here. Because really, it feels like it's about, and I feel like this is like a calculated risk, Gemini. This is something where I feel like if we just kind of sat down and really weighed out the decisions and just trust where your instincts are guiding you, you're going to get to where you want to be. Let's see what we got here. Absolutely. You got Two of Wands here in reverse, and then we got the King of Cups upright. And with the Two of Wands in reverse, this is getting that game plan, Gemini, figuring out what's your next move. This figure, he's got the world in the palm of his hand. You see how these wands are stuck here? It's like you got this one. So either do you want to stay where you're at, or do you want to be like this free wand here and see where this goes? How this opportunity looks like. But this is something that, Gemini, when you make this decision, just thinking with the King of Cups, this is something where I don't feel like, don't try not to stress over this, try to get it where when your head and your heart are in alignment, try to get yourself, maybe while you're thinking about this thing, maybe go for a walk, maybe change up your environment, when you're working through the pros and cons, maybe go to a park, anything, Gemini. But this is something where I feel like just keep a cool head with this, and I get that where, taking a risk can be, depending on what the situation is looking like, it can be a little unnerving and can put you in, where you're feeling like if you're in like a precarious place or something along those lines. But again, I feel like if it's towards, if it's going to raise your vibration in the long run, I say take the chance, Gemini, and just see where, because come on, Empress. Even like, I feel like this is something as we're getting towards the end, this King of Cups, him just even being upright, this could be a signal like, hey, if, because sometimes I think sometimes when we don't take the chance, we can get into that place of what if, and like, what if I had done this, my goodness, my whole thing would have blah, 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 and then we can get kind of stuck that way. So, this is an interesting one, Gemini. More? Let's see what else we got. All right, Gemini. Looks like we got the last two here. Interesting. All right, Gemini, wrapping up here. We got the Knight of Cups here, upright, and then we got the Ten of Cups in reverse. And so let's switch back over. So Gemini, I say with this decision, this is if you want my 2 cents in this little game that you're playing here. This Knight of Cups, follow your heart. See where that's leading you to, because who knows, Gemini, this could lead to your happily ever after. But I feel that this is something where these are the questions that you have to ask yourself. Is this thing going to fulfill me? Is this where I want to be? Is this how I saw my future self going? What is that, what is that response? Get that connection with yourself. You're represented by the Lovers, Gemini, and that's like that divine connection. So really, check in with yourself, ask yourself these questions, and then go get your 10 of cups. Go fill all of your cups and see where that leads you, because this feels to me like that. Because even with this 10 of cups popping up in reverse here, that doesn't mean that it's going to stay like that. It's just like, okay, what do we need to do to get here? It's here, you know. Do we want to take that chance, or do we want to try to flip it where we're at? So all right, I think I'm gonna leave that there, Gemini. Interesting, very interesting reading here, and I'm with it, you know. But I mean, you've even got, like, I'm just thinking what you got: the second card of Sag, second card of Virgos. You know, got 2 of Swords, 2 of Wands, 2 of Pentacles. A lot of decision making that needs to be had, Gemini. You're the twins. You know, we gotta get them on the same page. Figure out, you know, what action we want to take. But if anything resonated with you, Gemini, give this a thumbs up. And I say that, you know, to, you know, also just because, you know, if you like the video, that's just a bonus. But more so just like to show other Geminis, just like, you know, if this is resonating with you, like, we're all figuring this stuff out here. You know, we're all trying to map out this journey. And sometimes, you know, we got to take a risk, and, you know, I feel like when you're trusting your intuition, Gemini, it's not even a risk, because you get all the answers that you need. You know, all the information just will come to you when you've set your mind on that. You know, because the Empress she's too abundant to take risk. You know, not know that she's not going to get anything back. You know, she really listens to her instincts, and, you know, and pays attention to what she's done in the past. You know, and seeing what's going on in the present. You know, it's a whole bunch of stuff, Gemini, so work with this. But and share this if you know someone who might be at a crossroads, you know, this, because again, can be a tough situation. But I mean, really, if it's going to make Empresses at the end of the day, it's totally worth it. And then, you know what, have all these Empresses subscribe and hit that bell. Well, they don't need to hit that bell button, they're so intuitive, and you'll get notified when I release. Your Gemini sense will tingle, you know, when I get release videos each week. And then social media. So I'm working on the other ones, you know, doing my thing. But the biggest one that I've been kind of working on, it was biggest thing, is the meditation app Insight Timer. You know, I created a group on there called Zodiac's Raising the Vibration. And it's just a place for, you know, to drop, I drop positive affirmations there daily. So if you need something, you know, a little pick-me-up little mantra while you're figuring this stuff out there, Gemini, it's there for you. But also, if you happen to think of something, you know, positive affirmation, encouraging message, drop it in the group. You know, we're trying to raise that vibration. And then, you know, over time, I want to do something, you know, once the group grows, you know, maybe do like some meditation segments, and do like a self-care with the Empress. You know, let's get, you know, I'm manifesting your abundance. Oh, girl, ain't that sick? You know, something along those lines, Gemini. But again, that's on the meditation app Insight Timer. And the group is called Zodiac's Raising the Vibration. And then lastly, if you have any Cancer in your placements, or, you know, just any Cancer in your placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, wherever, come check out my other channel, The Chariot and Friends. I do videos Monday through Friday there. We discuss lunar shenanigans. It's a good old time. And all that housekeeping down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise cards here so I can get you out of here. Interesting. All right, you got the 5 of Cups here, Gemini, which that's a fascinating, and I'm with it. And then let's shuffle up get your Oracle card here. And we have the Festival in reverse here, Gemini. And you know, Gemini, I feel like with this 5 of Cups popping up, you know, whatever decision that you end up making, you see how this figure here, he looks all upset that his cups, you know, looks upset with his choice. But the nice thing that even if this situation wasn't what we maybe even expected it to be, there's still 2 cups right there behind him, and then he's got a river right next to him there, Gemini. We can find the abundance. Sometimes we got to tap into our Empress energy and get creative with it. How do we work with, okay, this is what we've got to put to work. How do we put it to work? How do we make this energy work for us? And Gemini, you know, with this Festival being in reverse here, I feel like this is something like, one, if we're at a crossroads and we're not sure, you know, maybe this is something where, you know, reach out, you know, maybe crowdsource, get some opinions on this thing. But I also feel like with this Festival card, you know, make sure just to enjoy this experience, you know, just to be at a crossroads and to be at this place where, life is getting ready to go on to a new chapter and a new cycle is getting ready to open up, that's really exciting, Gemini. And that's something worth celebrating no matter what happens, because it's neither good nor bad. It's just vibrations, Gemini, stuff that we experience. And then how do we make the most of that experience and just manifest, manifest abundance. So I'm going to leave that there. It's a nice little ending. So you stay safe out there, Gemini, especially with, just thinking with the gavel card, and these, all this gambling that we may be doing, Gemini, just as a last little sidebar. Be safe out there, remember, we're being, what was his name, Paul? We're being mindful of shady Pauls, and we work with, what was your name, Toby? I'm sure that, I don't think that was his name, but Toby. We trust Toby, hopefully. Don't be, Gemini, but just be mindful with this gavel card, stay safe. And Gemini, but if this is raising your vibration, do it, you Empress. And I will catch you on the next one later.